Should be pretty good. Gotta get the fantasy team set.
Jack Nolte, he's on. He said, Halep lost, Kvitova could win it. What's up, Jack Nolte?
Alright, I'm set.
Okay. What's up, Hitchhiker?
Let's do it. And Kenan is still.
I'm on my other account. That's my account. I didn't realize that.
Oh. Alright, hello and welcome back to another 5K tennis discussion. Today is Monday, October 5th. That would be Cinco de Octubre. Is that correct?
Cinco de Octubre, yeah.
2020. Sorry in advance if the internet cuts out. We have been very good recently about the internet not cutting out, but I just want to mention that ahead of time. If we just all of a sudden stop, just could go back to the channel in like 5 or 10 minutes, and we should have another one up. So if that happens, just hang tight. Click the like button, by the way. Carla has helped out with that here recently, right? So,
yes, just I didn't realize that I was on my personal account, so I'm trying to get back into it. There it is.
Oh, you couldn't see anything.
Yes, there it is. All right, awesome.
Also, if there is an interruption in shows this upcoming week or weekend, rather.
Justin looks skinny. He's always skinny.
Yeah. 2 more hurricanes are on the way this way. So we'll see if there will be a whole bunch of more weather videos coming up. I think we've kind of had enough with the hurricanes, though.
Yeah. Lucifer, Wayne Chia, B-Dog, Dordick, Carteri, Alex Villar, Wildlife, Hitchhiker, Jack Nolte, and Tanzim. Team Gross, what's up? This guy, Rodrigo Freitas. Hola. Don't forget to hit the like, guys. Seriously. You know, if I could come through the screen, I would just go like this for you.
Hit it for them. You reach into their TV and
Yeah.
come around.
Oh, no. I hope hurricanes don't affect you.
Yeah, the hurricanes are named by different names, and when they end, when the alphabet ends A through Z, they start with the Greek the Greek alphabet. So we're on alphabetic Gamma now, Gamma and Delta. So there's 2 more hurricanes, and if I do weather videos, I'll do it separate. But they're both tracked to come in this direction. Go figure, right?
Yeah. Will it be bad as the other ones? I think these are fast, right? You said they were fast.
We'll see. Too far out to
I don't know. I'm not gonna stay though. I already told him if this happens, I'm not. Obviously, we can't stay in this house. They're starting to tear up the walls on Wednesday.
Yep.
We already started throwing stuff out. We got 1 more day to finish up, and I'm just not gonna stay if the power goes out.
And we've heard no voting on what we put behind us once the house is fixed. So I'm thinking, I don't know, like a TV right there, like a cheap one, like stick it back there, like a screen.
Mm-hmm.
You know, something not copyrightable back there.
What's up, Weatherman Trey?
Let's go.
When it rains, it pours, literally. Yes.
I'll be here. They can go, but I will be here.
I'm not gonna stay here. I'm not gonna go through that again.
All right, quick fantasy team update. If I don't call your name for the
A Federer poster. Wildlife said a Federer poster.
we could do Federer, Djokovic,
and
Nadal.
Yeah.
And then we could do, maybe Serena or Graf or Martina there, and then like a small.
Send your guys if you want something up. You guys can also send it.
Yeah, you can.
I'll give you my
Let me meet the
address.
FedEx guy.
Okay, I will give you my address and stuff. You can send it, to us. I'll put the address here. I mean, any souvenir you guys want,
We live in his house.
we will put it up.
Thank you.
Anything exciting?
No.
A Federer poster. Okay, hey y'all, Fantasy's team must be close. They are. No need for Djokovic and Nadal. Laugh out loud. Kyrgios poster? Never. Ivanovic poster, please. Why? She doesn't play.
Well, if you go to your local sports bar, people will bring something in and they'll just pin it on the wall, or $1 and pin it on the wall. Mm-hmm. So if you want to send something, send it, and maybe we'll leave this wall for what you send, and we'll put it up. And then, like they said, Federer, Nadal, Djokovic, some other people, and then maybe like a small budgetable from like Walmart TV or something.
Sissipas poster? I could do that. I like Sissipas.
Yeah, and mount it right there, and then we could leave pictures like a.
Well, Hitchhiker, I don't have a personal address because we have no mailbox at this house. It's a P.O. box.
But we have a P.O. box.
Yeah, he said don't put your personal address. It's a P.O. box.
Yeah,
so
we have a P.O. box.
Yeah. I am going to put one of Iron Man.
We're going to talk about that. Don't bring that up yet.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we have a topic that involves her boy Iron Man. All right, fantasy team update. To start this tournament, we had 19 players that played. If I don't call your name out here, it's because there's no way you can catch those that are still struggling to win this thing. So here are the names. These are the people that have the mathematical chance to win the two prizes. And again, I'm going to send it out, whether it's $20 US if you have a PayPal account, Venmo account, however you want me to do it, I'll send you $20 US money. And if you want 2 sets of strings from Ytex, I'll send you that. If we have a shirt that fits you from Ytex, I'll send you that, or a combination. So anyway, we'll get to that when it's over. Here are the last remaining players that can win. Carla is one of them. Carla is in. She won't win a prize, so you can kind of forget about her, but she's kind of in the lead in a way against everybody anyway. Carla, Viruselis, curling tennis, Stefan Mizovic, reigning champion, Team Groves, Peter Dijkstra. And if I didn't call your name, either you have the same players that someone else has and they have one more, but it's not mathematically possible. The tennis racket giveaway with Halep's loss. Everyone had Halep going to the final, if not Muguruza, and they both lost. Raqueta. So that is over and done. We will put that racket up again for the next tournament that we do. So fair enough?
Yeah.
So you will get your chance to win the racket again. Matt Cain in London won the last racket. He won that. When did he win that?
Oh, last year.
Was it Wimbledon last year?
Last year, yeah.
All right. So that's it. That's all I've got. Carlo, let's start with, I know you spent
Thank you, Lucifer. He said 23 in the chat, 4 likes. Come on, guys. Exactly. Well, 16 now.
All right. You ready to start with your topics? Where are you going to start?
I don't know. Do we start with Zverev?
Okay, we can start there. I had it written here in no particular order. All right, so topic number 1. Sasha Zverev, Alexander Zverev, stated he was very sick. Yeah, he couldn't breathe very well. He had a 38 degrees Celsius or 100 degree Fahrenheit temperature. Should he have been allowed to play? What is it a big deal that he was allowed?
Well, first of all,
was it a big deal that he was allowed to play?
He lost to the young player Sinner, 6-3, 6-3, 4-6, 6-3. I actually was listening to this match on the French Open radio because we were unable to watch it. When they didn't play yesterday. Did they play yesterday? No, it was the day before yesterday.
No, they played yesterday.
Yesterday in the morning. I had to teach and he had to stay here with the owner of the house. But I mean, he was sick. He did say he was already sick during Cecchinaro's match, and someone corrected me on the pronunciation. I'm sorry if I said it wrong again. Cecchinaro. He stated, yeah, what can I say? I'm completely sick. I can't really breathe. As you can hear my voice, I had a fever, as well. His fever supposedly was 100 degrees. They did test him.
Or 38 degrees Celsius, yeah.
They tested him before he got there. It was negative, him and his team, and I guess he's going to get tested after. At the end of his interview, he said, there's no chance I'm answering your questions. I guess he got pretty upset about it. Honestly, again, we've talked about it, that we're all going to get sick eventually. It doesn't mean that you have the coronavirus. He could have just had a cold for all you know.
Yeah.
I mean, they did test him before the tournament. People do get sick. They get stomach virus. They break something. It's part of life. It's not an excuse. He lost. The young kid played better than him from what I heard. On the radio. I mean, why are we going to bash this guy over that?
How many?
I mean, I don't like him, but again, they did test him.
How many athletes have done big things being sick? Look at Jordan and the flu game. You guys remember that? You guys remember the Jordan? I used to have the shoes, the flu game 12s. Let's look at Pete Sampras. Wasn't Pete Sampras vomiting at one point during a U.S. Open or Wimbledon final?
Yeah.
I don't think because someone gets sick, you need to be so. I get there wasn't this pandemic then, but from what we're told, everything was done correctly in terms of the testing, and he passed that. So again, just because you're sick these days doesn't mean you're fixing to have a chance of perishing, even though it's like 99.98% that a person of his threshold wouldn't have any problems anyway.
Well, they said here that they didn't test him before the match. I mean, but what about if he just had a cold and they tested him and it was like, okay, you have a fever, so therefore you have COVID-19 and you can't play. And it was just a fever, a cold. What about if he gets over it the next day and his tests come out negative? I don't think that you could take someone's temperature and say, hey, you can't play because you have a temperature, even though your test came out negative before.
I mean, they didn't do it before.
They did it before the tournament.
No, I'm just saying in sports history.
Why would we do that now? To me, that makes no sense. You can have a fever and it could be gone the next day.
True.
I disagree with you guys on that one.
Okay, what do they say?
I mean, they think that he's an idiot, that they should have tested him before allowing him
All right,
to
read
play.
some comments. Let's hear them.
Let's see. Ethan said they tested him for COVID, but they didn't do a temperature check. These tests aren't 100% reliable if you take them too early. They're also not 100% reliable if you take them after.
Well, and also as well, we have read, I guess you could say we have read, but we have seen in numerous places that there's an incubation period. So you may have it, but things are dormant until you may have to go a couple of days. So you might have any virus for that matter have it, and it takes a while to incubate. In other words, to kind of hatch so it's effective, and then all of a sudden you're effective. So generally that's how a flu will work. So if of any type. So if he got it, if he gets sick just common cold, then he got it a couple of days ago, which if he had that then the test hypothetically would have failed. I think that it's it doesn't matter if you have some pandemic we don't or a virus that we don't have a cure for. I think if you send your child to school, can you send your child to school with a fever of any type? No. If they go to the nurse's office and the little child has like a 99-degree temperature, they send them home, right? We have 5 children. We understand that. We've been through that, 1,000 times?
Well, I'm saying again, they tested him. Dwight Love said they tested him a few days after. So, I mean, how are you keep everything now? I'm telling you, my kid's in the military academy. He tells me, you can't say anything. My eye itches. Quarantine. You have COVID. My throat hurts. And just that. COVID-19. Go quarantine. I mean, I feel an ache. COVID-19, go quarantine. Come on, guys.
A car just hit me. COVID.
This person just died because a mattress smashed them.
COVID-19.
It was COVID-19.
but I mean, all jokes aside, it's real, yes, and we're making light of the situation. But dude,
Tanzim, you gotta shut up, dude. You keep talking about how women's game is inconsistent. Now you're saying Serena's the man, dude. If you don't like watching women's tennis, don't watch it. Shut up, for real.
Whatever. Yeah, I mean, whatever. Dust your shoulders off. All right.
Better to be sorry. I just don't see how tennis is more important than health. I agree with you, Ethan, but again, if they tested him before the tournament started, sometimes we get colds. I mean, what about if it was just a fever? What about tomorrow he's okay? What about if he used that as an excuse that he lost to Sinner? Have you thought of that?
Do you think that there's any chance that was just an excuse and he kind of muffled the voice in order to make an excuse for the loss to Cecchinato? I mean, was it an excuse?
That's what I'm saying.
So what I'm saying is this an excuse, or is this some now French Open Roland Garros needs to be thrown under the bus? I think it's a really good question to ask. I think that's the point of bringing it up. Mm-hmm. Before the match, why would you play if you couldn't breathe? Why would you play? Why wouldn't you just have a walkover? So was it in Zverev's mind that he was just a better player no matter how sick he was? There wasn't a voice about it prior to the match, was there? Mm-hmm. So what I'm saying is, you shoulda, coulda, woulda. I shoulda won, I coulda won. I woulda won if blah 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 blah. But it's all generally excuses.
I think it's an excuse. It's a younger guy. This guy was supposed to win a Grand Slam, and he didn't want to answer any more questions. He was bothered. Cajun guy 1950 says, when have we ever tested for flus, viruses before? Never. 39 CVs identified since the 1960s, and they're testing for all of them?
I mean, good point.
Again, you got hit by whatever, a mosquito bit me, and now I have a freaking thing like that big. Oh, you got it. I'm telling you.
Well, we had here, but what was it? Like 10 years ago, we were here, and the mosquitoes, there was a Zika virus thing.
Yeah.
And every time we would go to the tennis court, we were like freaked out if we saw a mosquito, but yet we're inherent mosquito country. Mm-hmm. So we just were like, just screw it. We're just going to deal with it.
So Ethan says, right, in the day and age, I just think Zverev had let his ego take priority over everything else. Same thing with the partying we were all trashing him for. See, that's different. They told him go quarantine and he was partying. That's different. But again, the guy tested negative, right? His whole crew did. He said he had a fever with Cecchinato. Now he didn't feel really good with Sinner. But why are you playing if you didn't feel good then?
Again, we've talked about him being a puppy hater. A lot of people say, what does that mean? Well,
Carteri said a friend of his died from Zika. I know Zika did exist.
Yeah. I never see. Yeah, that's real. What I'm saying though is not long ago we would, and the tennis world, at least here, because there's so many rampant mosquito issues, and there is everywhere. When we go out to the court, we would always worry about, and this was before Justin Jr. was born, and I think it affected unborn children or newborn children, I think. So we were always worried that we knew we wanted a fifth child, so we were always worried that if you got that, then it would be a bad situation.
Yes, exactly.
So that's two things that at least that we had to deal with here.
Yeah, this guy, good point. He says Zverev thought he would beat Sinner, sick or not. I mean, I was happy for Sinner. I said, what a great match. This kid, I felt like if the fifth set would have happened, I think Wayne and Chia, you and I were chatting about this, and Wildlife won, that perhaps Zverev would have a chance. You know, because he was up 2 sets, and then Zverev takes the 3rd set, and then he wins the 4th set.
And that's a good comment, but here's where I'm going with that. You know, if you play a match because you think you can win, sick or not, and then you lose, do you go to your post-match
I would have shut that up.
Yeah, do you go to your post-match conference and say, well, I only lost because I was sick, or because you were a man, supposedly, and wanted to play through it no matter what? Why wouldn't you just said he played better than me and that's it, and just shut up? But we know that Zverev has a history of whining. Carla and I have met one of his coaches as a junior from Germany, and you know he wasn't blaspheming the guy. We mentioned this before, but he just said, yeah, he was an inherent whiner at the clubs and so forth. He was really hard to deal with, but you know he's a good player.
Zverev, a man. Yeah, he's got tears.
Yeah,
in my life. He's not a man. He's far from it.
Yeah,
and guess what? A lot of people are going to end up passing him. You know, the same thing that happened to Kyrgios. He was supposed to be this next upcoming great player. And his attitude and his partying and all that, it just passed him. Now he's becoming late 20s, and tennis will pass him and forget him. And same thing with Zverev. You know, here is this guy with Tsitsipas, with Thiem. Well, Thiem's a little bit older. Who's the other one that plays? Chorich, all of those guys. Oh, here are these guys that are supposed to win. Medvedev and all of them. Zverev's going to get passed, and you're going to have the Sinners, and you're going to have the Felix, and you're going to have the Shapovalovs, and you're going to have the Kordas, and all the other ones that are coming up.
And what used to be next gen will now be called the lost gen. And that's just the way it is. Zverev had his, in my opinion, I think Zverev had his lone opportunity, and I'm surprised Zverev only got to the U.S. Open final, by the way, because of the pandemic and a lot of players not playing, Federer not being there, Nadal not being there, Djokovic got booted out. Otherwise, I don't think he would have made the final either way. So if he wanted to win one, that was his chance. But we have talked about Zverev being a whining little baby. Look, again, if you've ever watched the Roger Federer and Zverev exhibition where they toured South America, if you've ever seen that, when you're crying, every time Roger Federer would start to cry and be upset, you know, because he got really good at crying there at the latter part of his career. But every time Federer would be crying, Zverev would be like, I'm like, dude, man, if a dude's crying, I'm like, man, get up, Duke, stop crying, man, let's go. But you're going to go over there and just, I mean, that's all I needed to see. He's just a little bit soft and he whines a lot. I mean, look at the deal with Lendl, right? I mean, maybe Lendl and Zverev weren't a good fit. Now, Lendl is a classic hard ass the way I am when I coach. You're not as much of a hard ass when you coach, but you're great at playing with the juniors. I'm more, I guess, prone to shout at them.
No, he shouts, but I say words that maybe, like, you know, I'll tell my student, like yesterday, I was like, you said to me that your strongest shot is your backhand. Well, I have news for you. It's not. You know, and I am pretty straightforward, and he may shout, but I say things that are realistic, and some kids don't like to hear that.
Yeah, exactly. So Lendl is the more in-your-face guy. Surely probably like Vajda, Djokovic's, you know, longtime coach. And maybe Zverev didn't receive it well. That's okay, but how Zverev blamed Lendl for everything, you know, he brought his puppy to the court. You know, he talked on his phone at the court. You know, I mean, whatever. And maybe it's true or not, but that's not the thing you want to tell to the media, and nor do you want to go to your post-match conference and blame your loss. You decided to play, sick or not, so he was better than you. Otherwise, why did you play?
Some people here, Sever doesn't deserve to be talked about. He's dead for me, laugh out loud.
I mean, I agree.
Jordan says, why spend so much time on Sever? He doesn't deserve a minute of your time.
All right, next topic.
All right, let's go.
I don't blame you. I agree with you, but nonetheless, we came across this Zverev sick article 70 million times today. So we
That's right,
it.
Justin. Wildlife said, right, Justin. Rest in peace on Federer and throw in some Djokovic praise while you're at it.
Hey, come on, Roger Federer's prime is over. Not a secret.
Well, like I said, guys, you can send any poster. I put my address there. If it's Puppy Hater, then I'll think of something fun to do with Puppy Hater.
Yeah, I'll try to leave this wall clear. We'll put stuff up. I mean, it's going to take 2 months supposedly before it's fixed. But what I would like to do is put you guys' pictures or whatever you want to send.
Whatever you want to send.
And leave the wall.
Your country. You want to represent your country. A little flag.
Yeah, we'll put it. Yeah. So I'm thinking, instead of putting, stringing stuff all over it and so forth, I think we'll just leave it blank, like a blank check, like a newborn baby.
We'll talk about the matches in a little bit, Miles. Yeah. He's a ghost now. Okay, next
topic is this. So Carla has always been very fond of Marton Fucsovics. Since, long before we started the show. Again, you've always mentioned Fucsovics, and your nickname for Fucsovics has always been, since you've ever seen him.
And you guys heard it. We can go back on shows.
Was what?
Iron Man.
Iron Man.
And now.
So this morning, Carla wakes me up, about 6 o'clock, and she's like, man. And I'm like, huh? What? The first thing she said is Halep got smoked.
Yeah.
That was the first thing she said. Halep got smoked, and I was like, what was the score? Anyway, the second thing that she said, but I'm even more animated about, is I just read an article written by someone. Anyway, and the title was Iron Man, referring to Marton Fucsovics.
They took my name.
Took her name.
I have it. You guys can go back. Old videos. I've called him Iron Man for the longest time.
For years, long before we did the show. So, how did you feel about having...
I felt really... I was pissed off. I was like, that is so effing bleep.
Do you think it was just coincidence?
I don't know. I mean, geez, I can't believe it.
I had someone, I won't get into this again, but I had someone do their first ever Jeopardy game, and I had done the same thing like before that, and it was done exactly the same way. So I
cannot believe.
So I feel your pain.
I just don't know how they got Iron Man, because Iron Man, and it was from the ATP side. How the hell did they get Iron Man when I've been calling him Iron Man? That's what he reminded me of years ago. Years ago. I should have patented that.
Yeah, patent the word.
Patent the word.
All right, a couple things about Marton Fucsovics. He is the first Hungarian since 1984 to reach the fourth round, or to have reached. He lost, we know that. He was the first I wrote this before his loss. The first Hungarian since Balázs Tarasi in 1984 to reach the fourth round of the French Open. Now, he's got a good story. Marton Fucsovics had accountants as parents, so he wasn't silver spoon fed. He didn't have a castle to go home to. He followed his dad one day to a local club. From as I've read, he followed his dad. Went to the club with his dad one day, and at that point in time, it's hard for me to read when you're laughing.
I'm sorry. This ATP next is gonna take Puppy Hater from you guys.
It might.
If they do, then we know for sure.
His parents, again, simple upbringing, but he followed his dad to a club one day, and he started hitting tennis balls. Now, at this point in his very young life, he was playing two sports already from, as I understand. He was playing football, or what we call soccer, so European football, soccer, whatever, not American football, and basketball. He indicated that at a very young age, when he went to this club and was watching his dad, or they're just hanging out, his dad played, that tennis was really easy for him. He said, it was very easy for me to play. Here's a quote from him, quote, he said it, here's the quote. When I was young, it seemed so easy to play tennis, travel, and to win these matches. When he was asked about whether or how he decided whether he would stick with football or whether he would stick with baseball, not baseball, I got twisted on the football. I'm going to say European football or soccer. When he got posed with the question, basketball or soccer, he said, quote, it was an easy decision for tennis. It was an easy decision. I wasn't hesitating at all. I was successful in tennis. I loved to play since I was very young. It was a very quick decision. So it sounds like Fucsovics was just a born type, kind of a natural tennis player. Some kids can come out to us, or to any coach for that matter, internationally, and there can be a child that you teach for 3 years, twice a week. And they're okay, and they're a good player, but there's just something that a natural athlete in any sport has. It's a hunger, it's a desire to get better on their own. Not because the coach is forcing them to do it, but he's like our 4-year-old in a way. We can take the 4-year-old out to the court, and he always wants to grab the tennis racket. He puts it down, he's like, hey, Lily, can you hit with me? If Lily can't do it, hey, Chris, hey, Jonathan, hey, he's always wanting to hit. Now, the other kids, and a lot of other kids, they don't always want to do it. It's like a chore. It's a drag. Oh, I got to get up. Oh, I got to do another drill. Oh, man, I got to work on my serve now. Jeez. So you can get in those people's faces like that. But ultimately, if they don't want to be there, they're not going to ever be great. So Fucsovics sounds like he had a natural draw to the sport, had a passion for it, and went with it.
He had a good opportunity today against Rublev. I mean, I was like, yes, they're gonna go to 5 sets. You know, he was love 40. Rublev was serving love 40 set points, and he didn't do it. So I love this guy. Sorry, babe. He's like my crush.
That's okay. I think that's great.
Him on my side.
There's.
Boom, boom. I'm sorry. There's something about this man that he reminds me of Burditch. You know, Burditch was my crush, and then, well, he kind of got a little fugly in that.
Yeah, complimentary to me.
Yeah.
I don't care. That's a good news thing for me. Anyway, he ultimately lost. Not really a shocker there. Would you think that's a shocker?
Justin doesn't like Sabalenka anymore, so.
Well, I do, but again, I think you called it right last year, Carla, that Sabalenka is a one-geared person. She cranks the forehand hard almost every time. She doesn't have a lot of variety, and when she faces that, she tends to lose only because you can only give up so many unforced errors and still win.
Zombie girl, yeah. Yeah, Zombie girl's his crush, I guess.
Who? Venus Williams?
No, Pliskova.
Well, look, he
likes the tattoo, that's what it is.
My woman crush is Salma Hayek, but she's not a tennis player.
I don't mind if he has a mustache. He looks like a soldier. Every time I look at Iron Man, it's like I'm looking at a Russian soldier. You know, that like so perfect. I don't know. Anyways.
Next topic?
Next topic, yeah.
Next topic, Nicholas.
What's up, Mitrovic?
Ready?
Yeah.
All right. Next topic, Nicholas Mahut is called out for spitting on the court.
I'm sorry. When I read this, I was laughing.
Well, read it.
All right, he was playing his doubles match with Pierre Hughes and Bert.
Herbert.
They were the 6th seed. He was playing against Wesley Kuhoff and Nikola Mektic. The umpire had warned Mahut 3 times because he spit on the clay court. Mahut said, "There's something. I have to." He said, "There's something in my throat. The clay gets in my throat. I have to spit it out." So the umpire warned him. Mahut argued with the supervisor, and he said, "I've never received any warning in 20 years." You know. Then Mahut tells the umpires, quote, "You don't talk to me anymore. I just don't want to talk to you anymore." So the supervisor tells him, "Hey, you know, why don't you just spit on a tissue and put it in your pocket?" You know, the whole COVID-19 stuff. Mahut said, "This is the most stupid rule I've ever heard. You looked it up, right? You said that there's a rule on the handbook that says you're not allowed to spit on the court except
on clay.
On clay.
So you are not. Well, first of all, okay. Let me put it like this. You said it really good right out of the bag. Nicholas Mahut is a quality person. Quality guy for what, 2 decades? Maybe I have that a little exaggerated, but close, 20 years or so. Nicholas Mahut, by the way, was one of the sole 2 people that were responsible for creating a 5th set tiebreaker at Wimbledon, which I freaking just hate. What did Isner Mahut went to like 72 million to 69,998,998 games at Wimbledon a couple years ago, and just changed the whole game, which I think is shitty. I hate the 5th set tiebreaker. I think it's stupid. That's the game. That's the tradition. So whatever. I guess we'll get Hawkeye killed Jobs, and we get nope. Anyway, I won't get into it. I've talked about it before.
Gotta keep the clay wet.
But anyway, so Nicholas Mahut is a classy guy. I've never read or heard of otherwise. Have you?
Yeah. He's never had issues.
Now there is rules in place that indicates you cannot spit on a tennis court. And it is not okay. It is finable, and it is warranted or warrantable for a penalty. Okay.
I'm sorry.
It's warrantable for a penalty if you spit on the court, except on clay. Now, I'm guessing that because of the windy and cooler temperatures in France right now, hence why they're playing under the roof, that if you're spitting and we're all wearing these masks to prevent some terrible disease or whatever. That was probably the reason why it was called. Now, after 20 years of playing, and always having it okay to spit on the court, it's kind of hard to teach a new dog or an old dog new tricks, right? If you said sit to your dog for 10 years and he sits, and then all of a sudden you wake up one day and you're like, hey, now I'm going to say stand and I want you to sit. What is that dog ever going to learn to stand now and sit? You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So the command has always been normality. Now let's look at one player, and I think you guys may remember him. Do you remember Victor Hanescu? He was what, a Romanian player? Where was Victor Hanescu from? Can you look it up? But Hanescu was a top 10 player, a top 10 player?
Victor.
Was he?
Hanescu?
Yeah, and I think there was an incident, and it was around 2009 or 10, 11.
Romania, yeah.
Romania, that's what I thought. Now, Hanescu was a good player. This is when Tipsarevic was in the top. Who else was in the top then?
Oh, yeah, I remember him.
So Hanescu spit towards a crowd out of frustration, if I remember correctly, at a Wimbledon. I think it was 2010 or 2009. This is when Nadal was really jacked up. And he faced a hefty fine and was penalized, etc. But the thing with Mahut is, so what I'm saying is Hanescu deserved that. It was the spitting out of frustration, if I remember correctly, or out of disgust towards the crowd. Not on them, but just like, kind of like Djokovic, if he stares down a fan. Instead of staring them down, he like spit at them, even though it wasn't close. If I remember correctly, that's how it happened, but I may be wrong. Check my facts. But I think that this had to do with assuming, because of a pandemic thing, and even though it's on clay, and by the rule books, it is okay on clay. Now, I have seen Rafael Nadal. I have seen Novak Djokovic. I have seen Andy Murray. I have seen Roger Federer. I have seen them spit on hard courts and clay courts, by the way. And we do it. And Carla, we've been playing, and she's...
I don't spit.
I've seen you do it before.
Justin,
come on, I've seen you do it before.
You're a fucking liar. Spit?
Damn, you just busted out
Big
an
spit.
F-bomb.
Why do I need to spit on the court?
I just took a little p-tuh.
No, why would you spit on the court?
Because sometimes you have to.
For what?
I don't know. You get, you're sweating.
No, I've never heard of that. No.
Any tennis players out there ever had to spit
on hard court?
on any court?
That's bullshit. I've never seen a girl spit on a court.
I'm telling you, sometimes it's
Justin,
done.
I don't even like spitting if I have something.
Shut out an F-bomb.
Because I've never heard of anything so stupid.
What?
Me spit on the court. Okay. I don't even grunt.
You don't grunt.
I barely sweat on the court, let alone I'm going to spit on the court.
I think defensiveness shows guilt.
No, I think I've never heard such stupidity. That was stupid.
Damn.
Me spit? Wow.
Anyway, players do it.
Farting aloud.
Nadal should do it.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Benjamin says farting aloud.
What happens to
He said, this is one way to spread the virus?
Yeah. They should do a test on that. Don't stay 6 feet away. Don't fart on me. That's hilarious.
Oh my god.
But look.
But someone said, I was trying to find a comment with, don't sweat, boy, on the court.
No sweating, no farting, no spitting, no nothing. Again, it's never been an issue on clay.
I've seen people blow their nose on the court, oh, that's gross.
Look, and clay, the dust off the clay gets in your mouth. So you have to spit it out. There has to have been a time, Carla, in your playing career where you've at least done something on the court. That's bull
That's
crap.
not spitting. No, I've never had to spit. That's not true. Never.
Look,
I don't play on clay, so no.
He got called out and penalized for something that.
You gotta be a lady too, No, I've never seen that. No.
I think it was a stupid warning, and I agree with Mahut. I mean, they lost the match anyway, but I thought it was something that I think was uncalled for, and I agree with Mahut here. It was no.
Well, they lost the match.
Yeah.
The anger took over,
All right, next topic.
Yeah.
All right, the young lady Trevisan, I think the Italian girl that is now into the fourth round. Is that correct, or is she into the quarters already?
Trevisan.
Is she into the quarters, or she's in the fourth?
I think she's in quarters. She beat Bertens. That's quarterfinals.
All right, so this young lady, by the way,
26 years old.
Yeah, Italian girl.
Mm-hmm.
Was she a qualifier too? So I think she's already won 7 matches at this tournament. Is that correct? She went all the way through qualies and then.
Well, I wrote down how many matches. She beat Vickery in the qualifying, then Sharma, then Georgie, then Coco Gauff, Sakari, and Bertens. So she's had a good run.
She's had a great run.
159 in the world. Do you want me to tell her story?
Yeah, you can tell the story.
Well, she quit tennis at 16 because she felt the pressure of being a tennis player.
So look, before we did a lot of research on this, but it's a really important topic. So the young girl Trevisan was affected by anorexia, which is an eating disorder that ravishes especially females, males too, but especially females. Models, athletes, girls that think they're too strong or overweight but really aren't. All different types of things that they will do. They will make themselves vomit, but I think that's more bulimic. But nonetheless, I won't get into that.
Know.
But she was affected drastically from this disease of anorexia. So I'm gonna turn it over to you to tell us a little bit about her and how she found herself in this really self-confident situation.
Well, she quit tennis at 16 due to all the pressure. Her mother teaches tennis. Her brother's a professional player, and her dad was a pro soccer player. She returned to tennis in 2014 after 4.5 years of a break from tennis. So she is now 26. She quit 16. Well, that kind of okay. So she got first round. She beat. I don't know if you guys remember in the Australian Open this year. She beat Eugenie Bouchard in the first round and then lost. There's a message that I like that Justin actually sent to me. Let me find it if I could find it. Of course, you know where Justin's at. Anyways, she says she had problems with anorexia. And she says, don't ever give up, even in the toughest moment. When it really feels like life wants the worst of you, like it doesn't care about you at all, stay strong and seek the light, because there's light there and it will arrive. I thought, what a great quote.
Amazing quote.
And she's been through a lot. I mean, I can't imagine going through that. I've never even come close. I guess she said she felt like she was too muscular, so she had to thin down and go to these extreme diets. I mean, I know I've always heard in my life that I'm super muscular, but I've never wanted to lose weight like that.
Yeah, didn't you used to have a nickname, what they used to call you when you were little?
Yeah.
Diesel?
I've never wanted, that's never affected me. I guess maybe because my dad raised me and he always said to me, you're beautiful, you don't wear makeup. He's like, be confident, don't worry about what people say, and I believe that. So I never had that problem, but there's a lot of girls that have that problem.
Exactly. My dad out there watches the show, and he texted us the other night. I think he was watching one of our shows or something like that. People were chatting, and they were saying in comments that Carl looks like a guy, and she's really beastly.
Well, that's the guy that I actually muted. So
don't think that we haven't heard this before. Don't think I haven't been called chicken legs in my life. We've heard it before. But let me take a second and talk about how this can affect someone to the point of...
Her dad was a pro soccer player.
Yeah. And she had, I think, other family members that were pro athletes as
well. Her brother, yes.
For me, I'm not going to get into my history. I do have a psychology degree from the University of South Alabama, and I had a lot of time during those years to interview people with eating disorders. And a lot of it is quite humbling and it's quite sad. I had an opportunity to speak with a lot of really beautiful people that were no bigger than a twig, and they still felt like they weren't thin enough, and it was heartbreaking. So for anyone to go through this, number one, God bless and much love to you. But the great story here is that she is still in the game, and she is now in the quarterfinals, right?
Yeah.
Now she made a quote, and it said that. So, can you read the end of that quote again? Or if I take you out of it, don't worry about it. But she mentioned, basically stay positive. There's a light or something.
There is a light there, and it will arrive. Stay strong and seek the light, because there's a light there, and it will arrive.
I think that statement is the comment or quote or the statement of the year at this point from any player or athlete across any sport. Why? Because it's so very true. Carl and I, again, there's been so many things that happened in my life. Again, we just lost the house, but at the same time, we met a bunch of people, and we met new friends. So there's a positive. There has been times where we have been displaced for this reason or that reason, but we stayed positive, and then positive occurred. She is right. If you believe positively, and you stay positive, and you are thankful, and you are kind to others, like Plato said, be kind because everyone you meet is fighting a tough battle. There's so much truth to that. If you can find a way to stay positive, positive things will happen to you. But if you stay negative and, bitch, moan, and complain, I call that B-macking, bitch, moaning, and complaining. Anyway, if you want to B-mac all day, woogus, who gives a shit? WGAS, those are my two things. So if you want to B-mac, then woogus to you. Stay positive, do good things, open the door for ladies, don't forget to respect them and do good things for them, and the mothers and children, help out and be positive. There is a light there, and good things will happen to you if you continue to walk towards that light. So she said it beautifully, and here she is. Mm-hmm. So vamos to her, let's go. With that said, I think she might run into a freight train, though, when she plays Swiatek.
With these horrible comments.
Who?
Woogus. Who gives? Isn't that your word?
Oh, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't really particularly. I think that was Alex, so I'm sure he meant well.
No, I'm thinking he's talking about some of the comments here.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
hey, look. By the way, the comments sometimes they get. Like Carlos looks like a man. And
No,
stuff.
that's only one person.
Well,
that
what I'm
said
saying,
that.
if you get it, just remove them. We don't.
No, that was one guy that he kept saying. You remember the guy that kept saying that women's tennis sucks? So I timed him out because he was spamming and spamming.
I would just remove them totally. Who cares? We don't do this for subscriber count.
Well, he's saying Woogis, people being negative.
Yeah, exactly. We don't do this for subscriber count. We can care less about that. We would be talking tennis. It's nice to share it with you, and that's it. If there's anybody negative, just remove them. Who cares? You
all right,
next, whatever. All right. Next topic is this. Siegemund, the young, what is she from Germany? Siegemund that had the double ball bounce that she didn't admit to in the first round against Marjanovic. Mm-hmm. So Siegemund gets food, a takeout order, delivered to her on the sidelines during her match. After she ate her food, she rolled off 10 of the last 12 games. Now, first of all, I didn't know, and I exaggerate. It wasn't like she called Domino's Pizza and was like, yo, bring me a freaking, a calzone to the sideline, get it here pronto. I think it was her trainer or coach or something brought her some food down to the court. But it required, I think, a plate and a fork. I didn't see it. She alluded to saying that, she didn't have a lot of energy and she wanted to have something like potatoes and rice so she could get energy back. Now, number one, I don't know if rules have changed. Again, I went through my USTA curriculum and friend at court book about 20 years ago, and that book is constantly updating. And what applies to the USTA does not apply to the ITF or WTA or ATP. So, again, I have never read anything differently, though, and I'm 42, I got into the coaching aspect of it very young. My dad made me. At 10 or 11, I was playing. He was like, now you're going to learn to coach. And I'm like, I'm only 12. And he was like, that's all right, because you'll need it later. But I've never heard that it is legal to bring a plate of food down to the court. Now, I have heard, I have seen, trainers will, here, Djokovic, here's your, bottle full of magical potion with, painkillers and everything else in it. And I have seen Nadal, had, custom bottles of Evian, which is clear water, with some yellow concoction, shaking it up, here's your magical stuff to make you play better. But I've never heard that it's okay to bring down food that requires a damn fork. Now, she was doing this because her opponent was Badosa, respectively.
No one likes Siegemund here.
Yeah, I mean,
everybody's like, she's annoying. Wildlife said, seeing him getting on my nerves. Eat some dates like Djokovic if you need energy.
Thank you. But we had to have a damn plate with a fork. Dates it. Now here's where I'm getting at. From what I am used to, and again, it's been 22 or so years since I've been through the book, at least at USTA, and it has zero relevance with the ITF, or some, but not a lot. I've always been trained that if I have a student or a child or whatever, that everything needs to be in his or her bag. All their rackets, a change of clothes, their shoes. If they need 2 bags, okay, take 2 bags. But I can't come to the court and hand you anything. Back in that point in time, if they only had 1 racket in their bag and broke the string, then I couldn't even bring them a racket. That's what I recall. Now, maybe that has changed. Now, Siegemund, correct me if I'm wrong, had the responsibility to show morals and to admit there was a double ball bounce. It looked quick in the first round with Milanovic, she being up 5-1, but when you slowed it down, she felt that ball came off the ground off the second bounce. It was apparent. And her chance to be a good sportswoman or sportsman was to say, yeah, that bounced twice, your point. Not her fault that the chair umpire wasn't looking. However, if the chair umpire was looking, that would have changed anyway. So what do you think about this food delivery? Is this prima donna-ish? Is this too much? Should this be allowed from the governing bodies? I mean, is this okay? What do you think? Do you think it's cool? This person was having a medical timeout, say, hey, yo, send me a calzone. But
New York pizza. That's what I want.
And then after that, she won 10 of the last 12 games. I mean, that's kind of like, is that now in tennis, if you start cramping, like if you're playing and you get cramps, cramp up. You can't default. You can't get medical timeouts for that.
They shouldn't stop like
how is this not worse than having cramps?
Yeah, that's messed up.
It makes
She's
no
using
sense.
everything that she can do to you know. Didn't she win the match after doing
Yeah,
it?
she won the match.
Yeah, I hope Kvitova kicks her ass too.
So what I'm saying is if a player can't call a medical timeout, and if you get cramps and you can't play through the pain, then you're done. You're out. You're defaulted. You're disqualified. It's a walkover. But she gets a plate full of whatever, rice, beans, or whatever it was, brought out to the damn courts, and she eats it, and then all of a sudden rolls off 10 of the last 12 games. I mean, don't you think there's a little bit of question marks here?
How long did it take her to eat it?
I don't know, she must have scarfed that shit down like I do.
Ethan said they print what's not allowed. Remember, Serena once asked for an espresso shot during Hopman Cup, but it was Hopman Cup, and Hopman
And that's
Cup
just
is
an
not
exhibition.
that serious.
Hopman Cup's like an exhibition.
Yeah.
Imagine
Federer is losing a match, orders dominoes, and wins the match. Multi-million-dollar endorsement.
Yeah.
Mitrovic asked, "What is cramp?"
Cramp is when your body becomes depleted and your muscles start to lock up and they tighten up. Some people call it a Charlie horse. So your muscle will feel like to you major pain, and your muscle will feel like it's balling up. So if you're out working out a lot and one muscle all of a sudden starts to contract on, you're like, oh, you have to straighten.
It can be anywhere.
You have to straighten your leg back out or straighten your arm back out to get it out. Yeah, and it's really painful. But that's what a cramp is, at least the American way of saying it, or the English way of saying it, rather.
Mm-hmm. All right.
All right. Anything else to hit on here?
No. Next.
Next subject. Svitolina, who, of course, as we all know, is a boyfriend or in a romantic relationship with Gael Monfils, states that she is playing this French Open for her love. For her love. Gael Monfils. Oh, so sweet, so cute. So cute. I do everything, Carla, everything I do for you. I do it for you. Let's go. Anyway, I get it, but how much can Svitolina improve because now she is playing for her love? Does she have a chance here?
Svitolina plays Podoroska, which she has a good chance.
She has a good chance, but she has a good chance of losing in there as well.
She has a good chance of getting semifinals, absolutely.
I like Swiatek's chances.
Yeah, I do too.
Anyway, a couple fun facts.
Are they gonna last? I don't know. I mean, I didn't know Monfils went out with
first round, Bublik.
He went out with
the guy.
No, he went out with Sivakova, so he obviously has a type.
Okay, so I didn't know you looked this up. So here we go. Here's an interesting fact. At the 2019 U.S. Open, the lovely couple, that is Gael Monfils and the lovely Svitolina, was the first couple to simultaneously reach a major quarterfinal in the last 10 years. Now, I could not find who the other power couple was within or just outside of the 10 years because, when you read something like this, you could tell that, at the 2019, this is the only couple that's made a quarterfinal in 10 years. Well, that means someone made it 11 years ago. I couldn't find it, but we did look up some power tennis couples. So here we go. Obviously, got nothing but love for you, girl. Roses are red, violets are blue. When I get back to tennis, I will beat you. All right?
That was cheesy.
All right. All right. So my question is, number one, can anyone name the other couples that have made major quarterfinals outside of the past 10 years? Now
Murray Maresma was not a couple.
Who?
Murray.
Okay, look. Here are some couples. Jimmy Connors and Chris Evert. I don't know if you all remember that, but yeah, Connors and Evert was an odd deal.
They won the 1974 Wimbledon together.
Yeah, together.
They won on their
Donna Vekic and Wawrinka. There's a whole lot of crazy stuff going on with that deal.
Well, Gene says Wawrinka and Vekic made the quarterfinals of the French last year.
There you go.
Good job, Gene.
All right, so here's another one. Steffi Graf and Andre Agassi, but their relationship was post-tennis.
Yeah, post-tennis.
Post-tennis, yeah. So that didn't count. Fernando Verdasco and Ana Ivanovic. Now,
did you guys even know that? I didn't even know
that. Now, Ana Ivanovic is my ex-wife, so I was pissed at Verdasco. I wanted to kick his ass because he took my ex-wife out.
Apparently, he's a ladies man.
I mean, look, I talk to Anna often. She misses me. I miss her too. But she knows that we're involved now, so she's she respects that. Leighton Hewitt and Kim Clijsters. Anybody remember that? Hewitt and Clijsters.
Yeah, but definitely they were a power couple.
Now Clijsters kind of looks like Siegemund, by the way. I think Clijsters wears the Fila stuff, and I got some trouble.
Oh, I'm not getting jealous at all. I don't get jealous. Yeah, I really don't.
Complimentary.
No. I could say when a woman is pretty. I don't get jealous.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with saying someone is good looking and stuff. As long as you don't flirt with a person, then
Look,
That's disrespectful.
I think it's a compliment. When people flirt with her, I'm like, yes.
But I mean that let's say if I'm flirting with a guy in front of you,
I don't care.
That's disrespectful.
Well, you wouldn't do that, but
exactly.
I
Do
wouldn't
you
care.
think I would like you flirting with a girl in front of me?
But I wouldn't do that.
Exactly, that's disrespectful. But you can say that person's good looking.
But if we go somewhere and say I'm over there and you're over there, and there's a lot of people around, guys always flirt with you, and I'm like, yes. I'm like, damn, that's right.
I don't even like that. That's uncomfortable for me.
Yeah, and the same difference.
I don't like that.
And the same difference. You don't go somewhere and
I don't like that. It's disrespectful.
Yeah.
I can say this guy is hot, but that's about it. You and I are not talking.
Care less.
No.
Care less.
Yeah.
Compliment to me, man. Don't hate. Congratulate. All right, a couple more. Carlos Moya and Flavia Pennetta. You guys remember this one?
Yeah, wow. I was shocked by that one.
Moya and Pennetta?
I didn't know that. Mm-mm.
Here's another one. Monfils has had prior tennis love. Monfils used to hook up with Cibulkova, a little shorty. What's up?
Martina Hingis and David Vulic. Really,
go.
David? Really, David?
Hey, David, send me a Photoshop of that.
Yeah.
Give me some of that.
Alex BG.
I'll put it on the wall behind us.
Alex BG1 says Grigor and Sharapova, obviously.
There you go. What about Grigor and Serena?
Yeah.
Because that happened too. What about Serena and Patrick, the Jack in the Box Mortagulu? Here I am.
Yeah, that's odd.
All right, here's another one. What about Radek Stefanek and Vitasova? You remember this?
Yeah, they got married, divorced, and they got back together.
Let's go.
Jordan, thank you. I was raised well. Yes.
Second time's the charm. What about Tomas Berdych and Safarova?
I didn't know that.
Now,
they were young kids, though.
Now, Safarova used to play doubles with Bethany Maddox Sands, and they won like 5 or 7 majors, right? Playing doubles.
Mm-hmm.
Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Next topic.
Now you got Dominic Thiem, Mladenovic. They made the French Open quarters in 2017. Thank you for that information. Abhishek Dutta.
Look at that.
Yep.
Respectable duty. Let's go.
All right, next topic.
Next topic. Dominic Thiem is fixing to play. Fixing, in the South here, they say fixing to. No G. Fixin. Fixing. Dominic Thiem is fixing to play Diego Schwartzman. Would you say that Diego Schwartzman is now a favorite based upon the 5-set match that Dominic Thiem had to play? And would you think, or would agree with, or disagree with, that during the U.S. Open and that entire run and winning it and playing that 5-set match, do you think his gas tank is still full enough to challenge Djokovic or to challenge Nadal, or for better yet, to challenge anyone for that matter moving forward? Do you think?
I think Schwartzman has a good chance. I was, that match that Thiem played, I was listening to on the radio. Gaston had a big chance. Big chance. You know, 5 sets. I didn't expect that. I expected Thiem to win in 3 sets. Good for this Gaston.
I did too.
I like the name Gaston.
Would you agree or disagree? If there was 15,000 people in the stands during that match.
But this guy says Thiem is fitter than you guys think. But in an interview, he says, I'm very tired. Don't you have that? Where he says, I'm very tired. Winning 1 Grand Slam took a lot of it.
I've read a couple articles this morning. Again, usually we spend a lot more time writing this, so I just kind of wrote statements, hoping you guys. Now I have to deviate from this for a minute, and I have to thank all of you just one more time. Half of the time we'll spend writing these things. It's generally your comments that keep this going. Mm-hmm. So all thanks goes to you. We did this just to have fun, and all of a sudden it's kind of like we have a lot of people that are kind of like a family type setting. We're always talking tennis all day, on the camera, off the camera, going to the store. Thank you, because this is our passion, and we are able to not share it with you. We are able to do it with you. Mm-hmm. So anyway, thank you.
Abhishek Duda says Thiem must be tired after chasing so many drop shots. I mean, he even said it. I'm very tired.
Diego Schwartzman, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think he's dropped a set the entire tournament. I just thought of this, and I was thinking in my head, has Diego Schwartzman dropped a set? I don't think so. Dominic Thiem, if he plays the same player, Gaston, again, and they both play it on an equal playing field, having rested the same amount of days with no U.S. Open that was just prior to the tournament, does he beat him worse? I think so. I think he beats him much worse. So I would be worried if I was Thiem playing Schwartzman. I do know that he's extremely fit, and I do know that he should win, and I do know he's the Vegas odds betting favorite. However, if I'm betting, I am not betting on this match. I leave it alone. I don't touch it because I would not be shocked if Diego won this match in maybe 4 sets. Thoughts?
Yeah, you got to give a shot to
You got to give him a shot.
Yeah.
And obviously, Thiem is a much better player. We talk about things.
But just the fact that Schwartzman can get so many balls back, and it is clay, and he knows how to slide. You know, Argentina, they play on that clay too. They do have red clay as well. So, I mean, you know he gets everything back. He's trouble for any player.
He's trouble for any player. By the way, height, someone's, height, how tall, it doesn't matter generally in tennis. And I say generally, and I say this lightly, because it doesn't matter how necessarily big or strong you are, how tall you are, because you can still be a very good tennis player. Now, Diego Schwartzman epitomizes that because of his height. Now, he's a little bit on the shorter side, but he's extremely good. Now, if Diego Schwartzman matches up with like a 6'4" server, he has Tsitsipas, or a big server, it's hard for him to match up well against him for two reasons. Number one, the taller you are, the better angle you have coming off racket going down and into the court. When you're shorter, you're tending to have to, give it a lot of spin, kick it a lot. Your serve generally lacks a little bit of power because you're compensating with arc in order to hit your spots instead of down and flat onto the ball. That's why it's so hard to break in men's tennis, and if you give one up, it's hard to get it back. And why in women's tennis it's irrelevant, because generally girls aren't that terribly tall. Mm-hmm. So the matchup here is intriguing because they're not. I mean, Dominic Thiem is not 6'9". I'm guessing, I didn't look this up, but I'm guessing Dominic Thiem is a little bit shorter than me. I'm 6'1". Is Thiem 6'1"?
Let's look.
I'm curious, but what I'm saying is there's not a big height advantage on players that are both very high in the world. I think they're both inside the top 10. Am I right? Is Schwartzman like 8?
Dominic Thiem is 3. Schwartzman is 12 in this
12, so close enough. He'll be in the top 10 after this tournament.
His height is 6'1".
So he's my height. Mm-hmm. So what I'm saying is the clay court equals out the playing field off the ground for the most part. The big server with the altitude gives you an edge, even though Opelka lost in the first round. Kachanov got destroyed today playing Djokovic. We'll talk about that. Djokovic looked extremely well, by the way. Djokovic looks better than Nadal right now, in my opinion, and we're going to get into that last. Best subject for last, right? Mm-hmm. So the matchup isn't lopsided. You see boxers, they step in the ring, and they're like height, reach, weight, so forth. This is a very equal matchup in terms of on paper. Now, the better player is Thiem, but he's more tired, so I think that squares it up. I wouldn't be surprised if Schwartzman won the match. I just wouldn't. What are your thoughts?
I already told you what I thought.
If you had to pick right now, who won, Schwartzman or Thiem? Who would you pick? I'm not saying if you're just a fan here and there, or if you only watch a tournament because you like one player. I'm just saying right now, if you understand the road of Schwartzman having dropped the set, I think I'm right. And Thiem, who just won a major, just grinded out a fifth set. Who do you choose there if you had to bet $100? If someone, here's $100, you have to bet it. Who are you taking? Who are you going to pick?
I'm not saying no.
You leave it alone?
I'll leave it alone.
I would leave it alone too, but if you were forced to, if you had to bet it, who would you bet on? Square up, no odds, just straight up, dollar for dollar.
Tough.
I'm going to take Schwartzman here. I wouldn't touch it if it was my money, but if someone gives it to me and I bet on it, I'd go ahead and take Schwartzman because I do think it's an issue. Mm-hmm. Time and tide wait for no man. The body breaks down no matter how young you are. He trains better than everyone, in my opinion, except Djokovic now. Mm-hmm. But I think he's susceptible to a loss here. All right? Next topic. Any comments you want to read, or next topic?
Next topic.
All right, next topic. Novak Djokovic wins today over Karen Khachanov. I don't think there was ever any doubt that
was a boring match. I'm so sorry, guys. I know you're going to cream me, the Djokovic fans, but that was not even exciting to watch. Khachanov is so one-dimensional. I don't think Djokovic looked good in this tournament. And in this match.
Are you smoking crack?
I mean, and he didn't look like good. Like I was like, oh, wow, he can beat anybody.
We're fixing a fight. We're fixing a battle. We're fixing a battle right here.
I just think his opponent was subpar. He was making some mistakes. Did he not make some mistakes? You said, oh, look how many break points that had.
Okay.
What I mean is he didn't look as solid as he usually does.
I thought he looked great. Okay. I watched this match almost in entirety. I missed a little bit of the first set. Khachanov.
Well, I've said Djokovic wasn't near his best, Justin.
I didn't say he was his best. Where are you coming up with this from? I just said he looked great. Did I say he looked like he played his best
this
match
ever?
This match
was kind of boring. It was kind of boring. It was like, like Djokovic really didn't have to.
Can I ask you both?
Oh my God, I just want to throw
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
What is Karen Khachanov ranked in the world?
Let's look.
You guys are freaking so biased with your shit. It's crazy.
You're biased. 15 in the world.
Okay. He just beat the number 15 ranked player in the world in straight sets. had some hiccups in the second and third set. Had a shaky service game in the second set, if I remember correctly, like at 3-2. I'm not.
Well, I said look great equals at his best, right?
Looks great equals. Looks great is synonymous with he's playing his best. How does that? Okay, you guys Federer and Nadal fans, that's all you care about?
You guys, Justin's desperate for Noah to beat Rafa.
Listen to me for a second. Can you not interrupt me for a second? We can go back to that, but I can't get my thoughts on the page. And then I just lose them because you're too busy laughing and giggling like the bad student in claess. Pushing in the damn corner with a dunce hat. Sit back there with a damn dunce hat. Put this cap on top of your head or something.
Yeah. Wouldn't pay $25 to watch that match.
What I'm saying is damn. He just beat the number 12 ranked player in the world, 15, whatever, in straight sets. So he must look pretty good, or that means number 15 in the world or 12 or whatever sucks ass and shouldn't be there in the first place. Kind of like puppy dog hater Zverev.
No, he's just not great on clay.
Okay, I knew she would say that. Repeat what you just said, Carla.
Hachanov's surface is not, his best is not on clay.
Oh, I thought you were referring to...
No, I'm saying Hachanov is
now,
more effective on the hard court, not on clay.
Can I finish the props that deserve to be read?
Djokovic looked very beatable today. Thank you.
Who said that?
Thiem Gross. He didn't look his best.
I didn't. Did I ever say? Quote
he didn't look
Did
great.
I ever say he looked?
He didn't look like a piece. He did not look like a piece today.
Did you watch? Did you watch the match? You
yes,
didn't
it
watch
was so boring. I would look at a few points.
You didn't watch any. You just said it. You looked at a few points of the
and
entire match, and I watched the whole thing.
That's because I was cleaning. I would come up
so
and down the.
How can you credibly analyze it?
It was so boring.
How can you?
I watched when Hachanov broke him, and then he got broken back and double faulted the first set. I was like, wow, what a match. Then after that, I'm like, man.
What a match. You only watched 5 points of the entire match.
Then I watched the second set. So lopsided. Then I watched the third set. Ooh, Hachanov had a chance again. And then, of course, he misses.
I'm now dumber after having heard that, Carla. I'm stupider. I've just lost more brain cells than all of college put together. I'm dumb now. Okay.
Oh, man.
A lot of people, since we have done the show, have indicated that Novak Djokovic isn't really that good on clay.
I'll show you a comment, Jackie. The first set, Djokovic was magnificent playing and form.
Here, when you guys get done.
No, he's defending you.
Okay, go ahead.
He's saying that I won't read his comment because.
Well, read his comment.
Okay, well, geez, why you got your panties in the water or something?
No, it's just you're stupid.
You're stupid. You might as well like take that Federer tattoo. Grab a knife, cut it out, because you're not a Federer fan.
Right, go ahead, whatever.
Jackie says, in the first set, Djokovic was magnificent, playing in form. I'm sorry. It wasn't magnificent. The guy got broken, and then, of course, Hachanov is just not solid. You know, that stupid forehand all the way back here. Got broken back. Oh, and double faulted. How is that a magnificent first set? Thank you, Gene. As you can hear where Justin's at. Thiem Gross said he wasn't at his best. That's all, Justin. Laugh out loud.
I can't wash my hands.
Varselli said, I watched the whole match. Djokovic was very good. Hachanov as well, but faded towards the end.
All right. I'm ready for all you guys to just get off your cloud nine.
Correct, Carla. Justin has lost his Federer fan card. I'm serious. We should come, do the show, make him turn around.
Can I, let me see the phone for a second. Okay? Because she won't stop looking at it.
Don't slam my phone.
Can you just put it down for a second? Because I can't say 3 words without you giggling and then read someone else's stuff.
Go ahead.
Can you put your phone down first? I don't even trust you anymore. Just put it this way. Now listen. Let me read some damn facts because I watched every point of the match. Every damn point. And she watched maybe 3.
No.
A point in the first set, a point walking up the stairs, and a point coming down the stairs.
That's because I was cleaning and you weren't. Uh-huh.
Okay. First of all, Novak Djokovic has made 10 straight Roland Garros quarterfinals or better. 10 straight. That's better than Federer, and that's better than Nadal. Both of them. Fact number 1. Thank you very much. Okay. Cha-ching, 1 for the red corner.
Okay, well, who's fighting that?
Okay. Mm-hmm. For 2 years, there's always been a plethora of people that says Novak Djokovic isn't any good on clay.
No, we said he's not. He's beatable.
I've heard you say it before, too.
No, I said he's beatable.
Anyway.
Okay, never said that.
The only shakiness I saw in the match today that you saw none of was... He had a love 40. Kachanov, by the way, had a triple break point at something like 2-4 in the second. So he had a triple break point and couldn't consolidate one of them. Then it was deuce again, and he had a 4th break point in the one game and still could not get the break point. Why?
Because he's not consistent.
I knew it was a rhetorical question. I know she can't answer why because she didn't watch the damn match. But surely a lot of you did.
I did.
Now, Djokovic, to me, even in the match he played today, right now, looked better than Rafael Nadal.
But he hasn't watched Nadal play. So you are a freaking liar. Because you haven't watched one of his matches.
What are you talking about?
I just caught him. He hasn't watched one of his matches. So you can't even say that.
Okay, no,
you're such a freaking liar.
No. Okay, let me tell you another thing. Novak Djokovic, by the way, and someone just said, you read me the damn comment, said, I've lost my Roger Federer fan card. That is such a stupid comment.
Let's just cut it out of you.
Okay, hold on. Let me tell you why. I'm a huge Roger Federer fan, but I follow sports. I'm a fanatic. I play sports. I play the game. I'll get in your face talking about it, whether it's football, baseball, basketball. The Lakers lost last night. LeBron walked off the court too early. What do you want to talk about? My 49ers are 2-2. I mean, damn, Cam Newton tested positive for the coronavirus. All I'm saying is I bleed sports.
You know what we should do?
Let me finish
We should have a jar every time we curse and just put the money in there.
What I'm getting at is Novak Djokovic is getting into his spots for his preparation much earlier, in my opinion, than Rafael Nadal has done the entire tournament. So Novak had a couple shaky games, and one in the second set and one in the third set. Besides that, he played a really clean match. Now,
Justin, what you're not understanding, I'm not saying that Djokovic looked like, I'm talking about he didn't look his best. Why? Because it was an opponent that he didn't have to look his best. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
He really hasn't had competition. I mean, Wallmeyer,
I'm not worried about
just like Nadal. Nadal hasn't had to put his best because his opponents have been subpar.
Carla, you will not be able to answer this question, so if you talk out of your ass after watching 4 points, then you'll just
I watched
wrong.
more than 4 points.
Okay. What adjustment did Novak Djokovic do to Karen Khachanov and the tough situations in the second set and early in the third?
I don't know.
What
he just hit the ball back more times.
He started using his touch and drop shot a lot.
But they didn't work. Even these guys said that the drop shots were crap today.
Well, they were crap, but he still shifted to that because what does Karen Khachanov have a weakness of doing?
Movement.
Forward movement.
He's a big guy.
He's a big guy. He can't move him forward. Hence why he was throwing the ball in there. And he got a straight set win against the number 12 or 15 ranked player in the world, and then you call it he wasn't playing his best.
You didn't see the guys. Was that really an entertaining match? Do you think
I didn't say it was entertaining?
It wasn't his best simply because the opponent was subpar. You can't play your best when your opponent is
subpar.
On clay, he is.
Your boy is subpar.
He's not my boy. He can lose to anybody. Anybody.
Well, he lost to Djokovic today.
Justin, please. You haven't even watched Nadal play, okay? So shut it up.
All right, let's go to matches.
Yeah.
She's a hater.
All right.
She's a hater. And again,
don't
tell me I lost my Federer card.
I'm saying, shut up. You lost your Federer card.
No, he's just older. Just because he got older, I understand he can't win a major. Now I'm just a Federer hater.
Let's put a Djokovic tattoo then. Let's do that next.
I mean, okay. I'll tell you what. If someone wants to give
Except I'm not paying for it.
That's what I'm saying. I'll tell you what, because I love tattoos. I'll put one on. Someone send me the money for a big ass Djokovic tattoo. I'll get it just to sport it.
Well, like Khachanov's level of play is worse than his ranking. Dean says today's match were all boring. Karen is not top 15 in this tournament. That's what Miles said.
But he's top 15 in the world.
Yeah, again. But
so we need to have French Open only rankings?
Man, just like puppy hater.
Who? Zverev?
Come on, man. Just because you have a ranking, how many times do we see in a tournament? Number 1 seed, number 2 seed. Now when you see them play, you're like, huh?
All right. Well, maybe we should write a letter to the ITF, WTA, and ATP and say, forget rankings. Let's make a special ranking just for the clay court season. That means Nadal
He tells his students 1,000,000 times, don't worry about ranking.
I want them to keep fighting and not to walk on the court with complex issues.
Djokovic didn't have to play his best because he wasn't challenged. And guess what, guys? Carreno Busta, Altamir, same thing. Same thing's going to happen. Maybe till he gets to the semis. Then we'll see him play his best.
So now moving forward, because of Carla, Mahut, Anderson, and every other player, the Isner, that have changed the game with their stupid bullshit, let's do this. Let's do this. Starting next year, when clay court season happens, and hopefully it's back to normal with Rome, Madrid, and everything else, Estoro.
How much is the tattoo? I don't know.
A couple hundred, I can assure you.
Anyways, again, the guy didn't have to play his best.
I'll put it big.
Just like Nadal.
I'll cover the whole damn arm. I don't even care.
But you won't be with me.
Sure, I got him anyway.
You won't be with me.
I'll get it. I swear to God, I'll get it. I'll get it. I swear.
Don't swear because you don't do that.
I will
Don't
get
test me, Justin.
I will get it.
Don't test me.
I swear I'll get it.
You're gonna get a Djokovic tattoo.
You're
gonna get a Djokovic tattoo.
I just like the art. I'll just have it for more art. It's not about just who
Don't
it is.
test
It's
me.
just art.
Don't test me.
I want to get it covered anyway.
Cover. Why do you want to get covered?
Everything else.
Don't go there, Justin.
Why can't I?
Mm.
You telling me no? Don't work that way. Nada. All right. Anyway,
But we didn't talk about Nadal's match. Nadal's match with Korda. Again, it was a quick match.
hey, here's
Again, a quick match. It was super quick. Has he been tested? No. Has he looked his best? Not really, because he hasn't really had to do much. You know? I thought the cool thing was that Korda asked him, can you sign this shirt? That was pretty cool.
You know, here's another thing.
And the next match is Sinner. Do we think that Sinner is going to give him a challenge?
A better one than the Korda one.
Yeah.
I think Sinner will win some games in each set. I think, it might be 6-3, 6-4, 6-3. I don't think Nadal's going to give up a set, only because of one big thing, intimidation. The same thing that happened with Korda, we've seen it a trillion times in all the sports. You got some veteran that's in there, like the Tom Brady's of football, the LeBron James or Jordans of basketball, whatever. And then you get the newcomer that comes in there, and they're so happy to be on the court with them. Are you interrupting me again with some woolly shit?
No, I like to hear you. Go ahead.
So you get some young talent, that watched this player and was motivation for them to even be playing the sport in the first place, and now they're on the same court with one another or field or whatever, and you go in there with the mindset, I want to get an autograph from you. That is already giving your opponent a huge psychological advantage. Now, granted that happens after, but if you're still with that mindset, even when you walk on the court as a player in any sport, if one thought on your mind is having a spare shirt or whatever in your bag so I can get an autograph from that person, you are already psychologically behind the curve. So I hope that Jannik Sinner comes out and doesn't give a shit if he gets an autograph or not, because if you're in the game at this level and you're consistently there, you will see each other all the time. But if you do it on the court after your match, before the match, whatever, you look like a little boy or a girl. And unfortunately, if you're in the game, no matter what your age is, ask Chang, ask Becker, ask who are some other little kids that won majors. Tracy Austin, isn't she another one? Didn't Tracy Austin win a major at like 15 or 16 back in the day?
Yeah.
Capriati, whatever. If you're in the game, it doesn't matter what your age is, but don't give your psychological advantage away by bowing down to them before or after the match. Carlo, when that Russian girl used to beat you when you were a kid or wherever she was from, and you told yourself in your head after she beat you, that will never happen again, right?
Oh, no, she's my friend. She beat me one time, and I said
I'll never lose to her again.
I'll never lose to you again.
Next time, this will not happen again. And did it happen again? No. Did you ask her for an autograph? No.
My dad's like, oh, you should admire her game. I'm like, no, I'm going to kick her ass.
Kick her ass.
Lars said Nadal had that same feeling for Moya and still beat him. But that's the difference. I agree with Justin on that one. A viewer, never seen his name before.
Hey, I'm fixing to step in the ring with you, man. Can you sign my boxing gloves?
All Poeta says, your wife is right, bro. I'm a Djokovic fan. I watched that match. Novak did not need anything near his best. He was just solid.
I didn't say he played. I didn't say he played best.
That's what I'm saying, but you're fighting with me.
I know. You said he
didn't look like a beast today. He didn't need to.
He was where he needed to be on the court, hitting his spots, recovering well, except for one game in the second set where he had a love 40 serving.
Djokovic was 50% today.
He played well. He won the damn match against the 12th player in the world without dropping a set.
Ethan said we should be in a sitcom.
Oh no, Amos and Andy.
Yeah. Okay, I like what you said, G. It's not because she doesn't like Djokovic. She knows Nola doesn't have to play his best against crappy lower ranked players. Thank you. That's what I'm saying.
Oh man, we all need to get together and write some letter, and then everyone that watches this show sign it, because he just said another just odd comment. If he can't beat a lower ranked player, this guy's ranked 12 or 15 in the world. And he's a lower... How does that make any sense? You're acting like Kachanov is just some schmuck stick that went through qualifying and is lucky to be here.
Justin, again...
He's the number, what is he, 12 or 15?
15, but again, Djokovic came into this match with a bad record.
Kachanov has beaten Djokovic before. Where was it? At Paris Masters?
On hard court.
Okay.
That's it.
But you can't say he's a quote-unquote lower-ranked player.
Alex says Novak doesn't need to play 100%. That's my point.
Exactly.
That's my point. Anyway, so Nadal beats Korda, plays Sinner. I think Sinner will give him a good match, but I still think Nadal will be too much for Sinner.
I agree.
Just because of experience. Even Nadal's interview when he said about Korda, yeah, he came out the first few games, playing well, but he made those mistakes a young player should not make to win. You know?
And he started thinking about his autograph. And
You know,
there it went.
that's exactly what he said. Thiem beats Gaston. We talk about that. Schwartzman beats Senegal. Yes, good, awesome. All right, so Carrero and Busta and Altamir, they're not playing today. I mean, I saw Collins' match got pushed back to tomorrow. They're not going to play today. Oh, they are. They're on the court. It's 1-1 right now.
First set?
First set, yeah.
What about Kenin and...
She won already.
Kenin won?
She came back and won 6-1.
Okay, so Kenin's through.
Kenin's through. So we got Kvitova, Siegman. Kenin's got to wait for her match.
Okay, hold on real quick before we get to the women's part. Djokovic, if he plays Carreno Busta, I'm sure Carreno Busta will win. In other words, Djokovic is going to make it to the semis. You're pretty sure of it, right?
I'm sure, yeah.
Who wins between Rublev and Tsitsipas?
It's a rematch. I think Tsitsipas. I like Tsitsipas. I like Rublev too, but I think Tsitsipas will win.
Rublev's put out a lot of energy too. Now these guys
They
both
have.
played a final.
He destroyed Dimitrov today though, so he's got more energy.
So you're giving the edge. So you think it's going to be a Djokovic Tsitsipas semi?
Yeah, that's what I had.
I can accept that,
Yeah.
even though I'm not a huge Tsitsipas fan. Schwartzman against Thiem. Who you got, real quick?
I still gotta go with Thiem.
I'm going to take Schwartzman there. Center Nadal. Obviously, you're going to take Nadal.
I just don't think that's competition for him.
Now, does anything stop the matchup between Djokovic and Nadal?
Only Tsitsipas can stop that.
Or Schwartzman?
Oh.
Schwartzman could stop. I don't think anyone's going to stop Djokovic from the final, but I think Schwartzman has a chance, or Thiem, depending, to stop Nadal.
Thiem has a better chance to stop Nadal.
All right. Women's side, shoot.
We talked about that already.
Okay, real quick. Swiatek and Trevisan. Who you got?
I think the young girl looks good. Swiatek.
I'm going to go with Swiatek as well. Svitolina against Podoroska. Who you got?
Sitovina, just because of the experience.
And because she's doing this for Gal Monfils.
Oh, maybe they should get married.
Maybe they should give each other a kiss after the match.
Yeah.
Huggy, huggy, huggy.
Yeah.
Jabeur and Collins later tonight. Who you got?
I got Collins because I like her.
All
I
right.
did Jabeur one. I'm cool with it.
Anyway, does Kenin make the semifinals?
She has a great shot. She beat Farrell.
Well, yeah, but she'll have to face the winner of Jabeur and
Yeah,
Collins.
she's got a great
So
shot.
she's a favorite to get to the semis.
Yeah.
Kvitova against
I
Siegemund,
want
the
Kvitova
double
to win.
bounce not admitting girl
Definitely Kvitova.
that had food delivered to the sidelines.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's it, guys.
Yeah.
That's a wrap.
That's a wrap. Yep. Because I gotta.
Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to hit like.
Yeah, there's a lot of you guys. He gave me a statistic that 90% of our viewers are not subscribed.
Yeah, we did do a statistic. I've never looked at kind of like the analytics outside of like just some brief thing of it, but I kind of dug into it. It's like 93% of the people that watch our shows are not subscribers. 93%. Why can't someone just hit the button?
I don't know.
I mean, maybe it's just, tough egg to crack. I don't know.
Yeah.
Much love, everyone. Tomorrow, we're good, right?
Yeah, we'll be here tomorrow. Yeah. Be nice to each other. We are.
Great match. I will be kicking your ass next time we get healthy.
It's good for you to say that. You got to believe it.
I'm not feeling it.
You got to keep saying it so you believe it. Because, I'm tough to beat.
Big tough pain in the ass. Big thorn in my butt.
Oh, man.